The change is already happening, gang. We are in the middle of a global shift. Now, I break it all down in my most important book yet, America Awaken. Go to americaawaken.us and get early access now.
Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that the LA protests are peaceful? Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that LA protests are peaceful?
Thank you.
Do you consider burning private property peaceful?
We're going to find out precisely why that was probably the most profound thing that Chuck Schumer could have said. What do Democrats mean, Senator, when they say the LA protests are peaceful? Crickets. This guy is an embarrassing fraud. No question. Would it not be wonderful if AOC actually just crushed him in the Senate primaries in 2026, just in terms of the kind of Democrat civil war that would play out with Chuck Schumer being the major casualty of that war? Speaking of a Democrat civil war, take a look at the latest coming out of Chuck Schumer's own backyard. Mayor Eric Adams, who now has officially left the Democrat Party. He's now an independent, but he is warning that NYPD is going to crush any riots breaking out in New York City over the weekend. NYPD already isn't playing around. They made a number of arrests of protesters who got out of hand over the last couple of days, but Adams is now saying, as of today, those are just the beginning. So he's sounding the ominous warning in light of these so-called No Kings protests, which are being planned across the country for this weekend. But as you may have gathered from Chuck Schumer's sudden loss of words, there is literally no support for these riots whatsoever among the masses. A poll just dropped from a left-wing polling outlet that absolutely eviscerates the Democrats. It's devastating. It's an approval poll. And let's just say it really doesn't get a lot worse than this. We're going to see how this, too, is just the beginning for the Democrats' disaster in the making. Liberal after liberal commentator is out there saying, they're just admitting this is a total lose-lose for the Democrats and a slam dunk for President Trump. And the Democrats, it does not look like they're going to recover before the midterms. You're going to absolutely love this. But first, gang, have you noticed that every time Trump's name surges in the headlines, gold goes with it? It happened the day after he took office. Gold doesn't just like Trump. It loves him. It rallies around him. If you bought gold the day he became president, you'd be up almost $400 an ounce by now. It's really no surprise. Under Trump's first term, the price of gold soared a staggering 53%. He's even talked about the USA going back to a gold standard. Here's the thing. Gold has been used as a store of value for centuries. The government can't easily manipulate it, and it's known as a hedge against market risk and inflation. How high will the price of gold go under Trump's second term? Will gold continue to break record after record in 2025 and beyond? We'll learn more about the benefits of precious metals like gold and silver with your very own free copy of the Gold and Silver Kit sent directly to your doorstep. You'll even learn about an IRS loophole that allows you to diversify your savings with gold and silver, tax and penalty free. So don't wait a second longer. Click that link below. Get your hands on your free copy of this kit and start your gold and silver journey today. All right, take a look at this beauty from Quinnipiac. Now, keep in mind, this is the latest from a left-wing polling outlet. Quinnipiac always employs a Democrat response bias in their samplings. But with that said, even with their left-wing bent, take a look at this. The Democrat Party has fallen. They have plummeted to a 21% approval rating. This is the second time Quinnipiac in the last couple of months have found the Democrats descending to 21%. 70% of the nation, 7 in 10 voters, disapprove of the Democrats. They are literally imploding in real time, right before our very eyes. 70% disapproval. Let that hit you. Oh, by the way, can you guess what the legacy media is not talking about today? I mean, think about, could you even imagine the headlines if 70% of the country disapproved of Trump and the Republicans? But forget, it doesn't matter because nobody cares what the Democrats and the legacy media have to say anymore. Nobody cares. ABC just had to fire one of their most rabid left-wing lunatics after he apparently had too much to drink and went on social media to rant against White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. But again, it's all just too little too late. The legacy media completely destroyed whatever was left of their credibility with the Biden health cover-up, both his cognitive and his physical health. Rasmussen found that 63% of likely voters believe that the media deliberately covered up and lied to them about Biden's cognitive and physical decline over the last 4 years. 63%. That's a supermajority. And so the Democrats and the legacy media, I mean, they can parrot each other till they're blue in the face about these these fiery but mostly peaceful protests. No one cares. The American people have overwhelmingly stopped listening to them. And even leftists themselves are admitting this. They are admitting defeat, total defeat in this. Case in point, Cenk Uygur of the far-left Young Turks, he's admitting that the optics of these riots are utterly disastrous for the Democrats. And this is before the Quinnipiac poll came out. He writes this, quote, "I think ICE provoked this whole thing in L.A. by firing into the crowd immediately." Stop. Stop. Have the camera come back to me. Stop. If there is anything we have learned over the last 5 years, anything, the left needs no provocation whatsoever, Cenk. I mean, I'm sorry. The Democrats believe that the party that believes that men can become women needs no provocation. The party is provocation. The left is inherently mentally unstable, and mentally unstable people do reckless, provocative things. They do not need to be provoked. All right, sorry. I digress. Let's go back to the tweet here. The radicals on our side are so stupid. I mean, why do you need to burn Waymos and American flags? What does that prove other than that what Trump wants to prove? That you are against America, violent and dangerous. Yes, that's precisely the point. Sorry. I have to interject here. That's precisely the point, Cenk. They are inherently anti-American, violent and dangerous. And violent and dangerous people, by definition, do not need to be provoked. A serial killer is not provoked by his victim. A serial killer kills. Violent and dangerous anti-Americans inflict violence on America. This isn't hard, Cenk. All right, sorry. He goes on. Maybe that helps you with your emotional release and helps build your brand if you're an influencer. But how does it help the community or immigrants? It's deeply counterproductive and led by a bunch of selfish pricks who are just trying to help themselves. It's true. Activists are narcissists. The people being counterproductive are not hurting ICE or Trump. They're hurting their own side. Do you think more people in L.A. are on your side now than before? Well, maybe, because Trump also loves to be counterproductive and brought in the military way too fast or at all. Stop. Again, it never ceases to amaze me how quickly leftist analysts lose touch with reality. Note what Cenk just said there. Note what Cenk just said there. More people may be on our side because Trump loves being counterproductive and he's sending the military way too fast. Cenk, what objective metrics do you have for that statement? The reality is Americans support Trump sending in the National Guard and troops overwhelmingly by a 20-point margin. It's not even close. There have been a number of polls on that. It's near 2-to-1 ratio. I mean, seriously, if you're going to try to pass yourself off as a political analyst, then please analyze. Don't rant, which is what I'm doing. He goes on, but definitely not because of the damage so-called protesters are doing. They have needlessly cost us support. Just contradicted himself, but alas. They have needlessly cost us support even at home in L.A. Michael Barone of the Washington Examiner has a great piece out today, and it's a piece that's basically arguing that after 6 days of this, there is absolutely no question whatsoever whose side the public is overwhelmingly on. He cites the Insider Advantage poll, which is the one that I showed you, which shows overwhelming support for sending in the troops, as well as a Neapolitan News Service poll that showed 56% approval of Trump's actions. But more than that, Barone points out that Democrats and the legacy media in many respects have shot themselves in the foot. I mean, after telling us repeatedly, after insisting for 4 years that Biden was sharp as a tack, or as Joe Scarborough said, this is the best Biden ever. He is cogent, right? And physically vigorous, riding a unicycle, juggling clubs in the Oval Office. No one believes them anymore, especially when they tell us that these riots are overwhelmingly peaceful. This is not the summer of 2020. Again, I think Jesse Waters said it best. This literally has no cultural traction whatsoever. There are no Mexican flags being posted on people's Facebook and Instagram accounts. There are no people mass taking of the knees, wearing sombreros. There is no solidarity with this cause anywhere in pop culture. It has no cultural traction whatsoever, as much as all of this, AstroTurf protests are trying to drum up. People see with their own eyes the violence and the damage caused by these riots. They know these are not peaceful protests. They know that, which means every time the Democrats and media double down on this peaceful protest propaganda, they only end up digging their hole ever deeper. They only end up losing literally the least bit of semblance of credibility that they might still hold on to for those who don't want to be lied to, which means that they're probably better off saying nothing at all at this point, which also means that Chuck Schumer's silence was probably the best possible thing he could have said.